Low reputation Growl Wedge. A crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. How many times have you watched some YouTube video of someone doing really well in this awesome vehicle? It looks cool, it handles well, it shoots well, it's got a low power score. Great! I want that vehicle, you say to yourself. And then you look in the exhibition and go, ooh, I've found it in the exhibition. Right, excellent, load it up. Ooh, I need those. I don't have any of those weapons. I need that cabin, or I need those wheels. Okay, I'll go out and buy them. Right, now I shall assemble. I can't. I can't because I haven't got the structural parts. When you're a newbie, this is a very common thing. You don't have all the structural parts that some experienced gamer has spent hours crafting his vehicle, but he's used all the structural parts that he needs, the specialised ones that just have enough connections, the right shape to fit in. But you don't have them because remember, all your structural parts are dependent on your reputation with the various fractions. Here we are in engineers. No, this is not engineers, this is nomads. What am I talking about? Let's look at engineers. Here's the real basic stuff. When you're starting out, you can hardly have any frames. You don't have a 2x8. Is that 2x8? No, that's a 6x4. What am I talking 2x8? I wish there was a 2x8. I could definitely use a 2x8. There you go, 4x8. You don't get that until level 15 in the engineers. And then there's all sorts of other interesting stuff. Let's go into, here's a good one. You have snowplows. Snowplows are dead useful. They're heavy, but they've got a lot of durability, and they're very good at protecting the front of your vehicle. But you have to be level 7 in the Scavengers before you get one of them. And then there are all the connecty bits. Where's the box gone? Scavengers have a box. It's just 2x2x1, which is, there it is. Level 5 you get your first 2. You only get 2 though, and then a bit later on, level 9 you get another 2. So if you don't have the reputation, you can't use the structural parts, so you can't make your vehicle. Pain in the butt. But fret ye not, for Dangerously Incompetent is on your side. Here is a low reputation vehicle. By low reputation I mean you need level 11 in the engineers, level 3 in the lunatics, level 2 in the scavengers, and level 11 in the nomads. But if you can make do with only one of these snowplows, that drops down to 8, I believe, if I remember rightly. So with a bit of luck, even if you don't have any of you don't have any scavenger, I mean 2 is dead easy to get. And as soon as you got level 10, I believe, in the engineers, you can move to the lunatics or the nomads or the scavengers, so you can get to them quite quickly. It's not like the Dawn's Children, Steppenwolf and Firestarters, who you need level 10 in one of either lunatics, nomads or scavengers before you can get to them. So I didn't use any structural parts from those people. So with a bit of luck and a bit of money, because it does have blues and purples. Does it have purples? I've forgotten. Let's have a look. LoRepGrowl, there we go. Yes, it does have a couple of purples. Oh, one's a decorative bit, but then the Colossus. So 1 purple and a bunch of blues. Pop, 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 pop. So you need a bit of money to buy those blues. Bitcoin, be more specific. But all this structural parts, low reputation needed. Excellent. Let us discuss the build. It's a Growl. I could describe it as a Growl Wedge because the primary thing I wanted to manage to do was make a wedge build, which means, yeah, remember Wheelie Big Cheese of Robot Wars? Ideally, your enemy, while you plough into your enemy or they plough into you, they hit these ploughs and they go up. They hit these, suffer damage. They hit these, suffer damage. They still go up, and then they roll off you and fall onto their side or onto their back, and they're like a tortoise on its back. It can't do anything unless you get within range of its weapons and just in front of it and not to the side or not behind it. That's the idea. And that's why we got two plows. Now these things have got a lot of durability and they're also useful for like shielding the rest of your vehicle. But I do want shielding here because, let's go into build and have a look. I've got a very explosive fuel tank underneath and I'd rather not have that shot. So they're alright there. Maybe it could be used better with shielding the rest of my vehicle, but they're very good for lifting things and absorbing damage on your front. I mean, these blade wings, they're also good for lifting, but they tend to fall off a lot because their durability 40, durability 216, or get shot off a lot. So with the plows lifting, then more lifting, there's nothing stopping it. The wheels are behind the slope. There's nothing stopping an enemy just sliding up the top. You don't want them to park on the top. That happens a lot because you tend to ram them and your momentum and their momentum gets cancelled out and they end up sitting on top of you, and then you go, ooh, I'm shooting into his underside, excellent, there's his fuel tank, let's shoot that, bang, 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 boom. And then your front half of your vehicle suffers a lot of damage and all the blade wings fall off and the wheels fall off and you're scuppered. So you don't want them sitting on top of you. You want them to roll off and roll over and then you've got them. The second thing about the wedge is this height here. Let's get out of build and go to test drive. Let's see it better. Can we see it better? I can't point at the distance. It's the crucial to a wedge is the height between the bottom of your leading lifting part, i.e. the wedge, and the ground. Let's go back into build so I can show you with the cursor. See, here we are. This distance here between that and that. If your opponent's lifting distance is shorter, it's lower to the ground than you are, he's going to lift you, not the other way around. Which it's critical when you're going head on head. If you're coming into the rear of them, then usually that distance is huge. I mean, even on this thing, that distance is there. So my leading edge will easily get under a copy of a clone of my car, and under, off we go. Now to adjust the height, stay in build. To adjust this height, first off, you want to get it lower than your chassis, your frame. Can we give you a bit of frame, please? There you are. There's my frame block. See, that's at least one block higher, and then it's more because I've tilted my whole car by using a larger wheel at the back and a smaller wheel at the front. And given these two wheel sizes, because there's the small ones like the chained wheel, then you got the regular size, and then you got the big wheels, like large wheel and what's the other? A big wheel? Is it called a big wheel? Big fat monster truck type wheel. But anyway, then the further back you move the wheel, because the whole thing is slanted, so the frame here is higher than the frame here, the distance above the ground. That means the further the further backwards you move the front wheel, the lower that distance, the lower your leading edge, and then the closer the front and the wheels are, that also lowers the leading edge. But be warned, if you lower it too far, you'll just snag on the landscape constantly, and when you snag, you tend to stop abruptly, and you got to accelerate up again. You're sitting duck while you're going so slowly, and in the meantime the target you were intending to lift has run off. So you can't have this leading edge too low, and it's a balance, and I think I've got the balance just about right here with this vehicle. But it's all possible because I've got smaller wheels in front, larger wheels and back, and then I played with the distance between them and the distance between the front and the leading edge to get the right height. Well, height optimum. It's not right. There is no right height. You want as low as possible to lift your enemy, but as high as possible for ground clearance for maneuverability. That's the wedge part dealt with. What other bits we got? Well, it's a shotgun build, and I tend to like these Spitfires because they got durability. Okay, they don't shoot all the way around, which is often very, very useful, but they're harder to shoot off because they're more durable. And the front one is hidden behind some blade wings and a bit of the tyres, and the rear ones are tucked behind the cabin, and then these blade wings also give them a bit of, well, essentially armour. But they can shoot over them. Firstly, they can just about shoot over them on their own if it's all on the level, but then the whole car is tilted, which means the cabin and these blade wings are even lower because it's tilted forwards, which means these get a bit more clearance to shoot. It's handy. Side by side. Now I've got an engine. All engines are good because you need the acceleration, and for this build you do want the acceleration if you're going to use it as a wedge. If you're going to lift people, you've got to be able to turn and accelerate, and yeah. So an engine is an absolute must. Now I would have put it at the back and had a nice symmetrical vehicle, but I needed somewhere to tuck away a light generator. So instead I whacked it on the side, and it's got a lot of durability, so that's a good bit of armour for the side of my cabin and then the stuff in behind it. But it does make it a bit asymmetrical because it's quite high, so I can't match that one, and the ground cabin doesn't have anything up here I can stick things to. So I could move this on over and stick it on top of the Spitfire, but then it's only sticking to the Spitfire, and as it is, it's sticking to the engine and the Spitfire, so it stays there a bit longer. The side by side makes it unsymmetrical and a bit ugly, which is a bit of a pain. But it's better than having it behind, and then where am I going to put that light generator? Well, I could put it underneath, I suppose, but I want the fuel. And fuel is good. Bit of extra resource earning every battle. Well, not every battle. You got to win and you got to survive, and you got, yeah, that's all. I don't think you actually need to have the fuel tank with you at the end of the battle to get its benefit. But that's a different video. What else did I want to talk about? I've done the plans, I've done the low reputation, I've done the wheels and the wedge. Structure. Now if we look at the front of the vehicle, the only structural pieces, ploughs and the blades come under structure, but I'm not counting them because when they're shot off or damaged and fall off, your overall durability doesn't drop. I'm going, there you are. That's the only structural part that adds to your overall durability and reduces your overall durability when it comes off. So those twin avia panels, those are the only ones you can see at the front. Everything else is either tucked behind the cabin, which has a lot of hits, has its overall durability. Engine has a lot of hits, so there's a few more pieces, and they're covering up the cooler, and then behind that is the thing that goes boom, the light generator. So from the side you can see structural pieces, but not from the front. And I've hidden a bigly amount of structural durability underneath the frame. So it's sticking to, well, mostly the fuel tank, and then it's also sticking to these ploughs, and then the structural pieces that come down from the side, because you can't stick them direct to your frame. You got to stick them. You got to stick something to the side of the frame, and then that projects down that you can stick your structural parts on. But underneath there, they don't get shot a lot, but they add to the overall durability of your vehicle, i.e. the cabin. So if someone's shooting me in the cabin, all these structural parts are helping. So that's what gives it 842 points, which is pretty good going for 5,000 power score. Well, the 5,000 power score is a bit high, maybe. But then there's so many wonderful things you can put on. I want an engine for the acceleration. You really need the acceleration. It really helps. Then most of them power, 9 points of power. Yeah, I'm using. Growl gives you 11. I've got a total of 12 for the light generator. The cooler really helps your shotguns. Coolers help, and radiators really do help. And it's certainly worth getting the same colour, rarity. So I've got a blue cooler for blue weapons. Definitely efficient on the old power score, but it's another point of energy. And then one of my favourite pieces, a radar detector. I should probably make a whole video about this. If you want to increase your win rate, the most straightforward thing you can do, in my opinion, is whack a radar detector on your vehicle. But that's another point. It's horrendously useful. So with all these extra points, I needed another light generator, another explosive thing. Anything else? Can you think of anything else? If you want to know anything else about the build, ask me in the comments below. I think that's it for the garage inspection. Oh, steering. Front wheel steering. No steering on the rear. Originally I had steering front and back, which is definitely useful when you're trying to ram people and you're meleeing with them, because it increases your maneuverability. Your turning circle goes down, decreases a lot, and your maneuverability goes up. But I had a weight problem, so we had to go for non-steering wheels at the rear just to cope with the weight, all that structure, all that colossus of an engine. But it still works pretty well. It's another compromise. I think it's a reasonable compromise. That's it for this garage inspection. Soon to come, battle reports. And if I can work out my video editing software, my new video editing software, there will be a deconstruction showing you how to build it, because I'm going to put this vehicle in the exhibition. And it's in. Let's check it. Better check. Let me just check. Have I done it? Oh, have I done it right? Yeah, there we go. So D_I space LoRepGrowl, and capitalizations is important, I think, is taken account of. But I'll put a copy in the details below, so you can look it up in the exhibition. But it's not going to be there forever. My exhibition's full up already. I made another account for displaying stuff, but that's pretty much full. So I'm going to make a deconstruction video where I take it all apart. Well, I take it apart, but I'm going to reverse it so it looks like it's all going together. So you can see where all the parts are, and you could follow that video and make this vehicle. And it's also useful for showing you different ideas of how to stick stuff together. But that's to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it useful. If you did, press the like button, subscribe button, comment below and say what you liked about it, because that's all increases, what does YouTube call it? Well, YouTube doesn't publicly call it anything. Engagement. That all increases the engagement, makes my videos more popular and gets more people to see them and makes me a happier person. See you on the next video.